Una welcome back. For this video, we go start to see how we fit use Git take dey do version control for inside our code. So we go start to use this Git and GitHub. We go use the two of them to dey see which time we don write code, and we go use and use and arrange a better development environment. Wey be say we fit dey share our code with other people, we fit dey let other people dey see our code, we fit dey let them dey know which time, we fit dey know which time other people don make changes to our code. We go see all the life side or the whole history of our code. We go see am from any time when we first create the repo or the repository. Na that time we go come start to see the history of the code, who make change, who no make change, and if person wan make contribution, they fit make contribution. If person wan make changes, they fit make changes. Then if we don't make mistake again and we wan go back to one time for history, maybe say we do one better code, we fit go back again for that time for history, go check the code. So now wetin Git dey do for us. I'm going to use GitHub also. GitHub na way for us wey be say we fit dey see the code, we fit dey use am, we go dey upload our code, dey store am for there. Now GitHub we go dey use to dey do am. So now make we first set up Git. We go fit dey work with am for our local machine for this. So I dey use Windows. If una check this my system, so you go see say e dey show me this download for Windows. So when you don come this site, this git-sam, I go leave link for description for now. You come here for this Git. And then make una no worry, you go need use terminal for all this thing, but no worry about terminal code and all those things. As time goes on, I promise you, when I go sabi am, just continue to use am as much as you can. Okay, just continue to use am. Even though the first time you don't know what they do, just they use am small. And wetin you don't know, Google am. So make we come here. I dey use 64-bit Windows machine. So now if you use 64-bit, if na 64-bit system they use, or they use 32-bit, if you use 32-bit. But I dey use 64-bit. This na the portable version. We know they use that one. I want install them as a fresh new install. So you go click here, this download, and it go download for me for there. So make I just close this one since I don't already do this before. So I can just close that download. And then you could just need run the file. So I could just go to the directory, go run the file. So now where we don't run this file, we go get this setup first. So this is not the installation file, and this is not the terms and conditions. So here, now just simple installation we go use do. So no too stress. We just click next for here. And you go remember, if you see this one's no tick, so if you just tick this one, if you want to see the icon for your desktop, but make sure say you tick this one. This now for our Windows Bash for our Windows terminal. So make sure say you tick this one so that you go to see this one for your terminal. And if you want to get the daily updates, if you click here, but I know they do that one. So just remember, say if this one day off, you go need to click and make your terminal profile this setup. So you will click there. Those of us will get VS Code, you go like just change these settings here to our Visual Studio Code. No be Insider, but Visual Studio Code as Git default. You see this one here? No be the second one Insider. So you go choose this first one as Visual Studio Code. So you choose that. And now it go integrate this Git with our VS Code or Visual Studio Code. So if I click on next, maybe the default settings, so make we go on. So click yes. And this one, yes, what we want to be saying, we want to use Git. And we don't mind also use this one also. So this is not just the default settings, and also this is not the default settings. Yes, next again, the default settings. And of course, you go please choose yes also for here. And you go choose yes for here. And finally, you go choose, oh, okay, one more settings. We can see. So I go leave this one. So I go say this procedural console. I will just leave that as all off since now still experimental issue and it still get bugs. So I go leave that. And once we don't leave that one, we gonna say now we fit they arrange, we fit they install our Git for our machine. While that one they install, make we go back into our browser. Then make we go this site called github.com. Now, if you don't see GitHub already, now GitHub where we say we they upload the code for most of our videos or our code examples or code videos where we don't see. So now there you're not going to see all our code for there. They download them. Now we don't experiment with GitHub. So we're going to open set up a GitHub account. This now GitHub here where they help us. They keep all these developer repositories and all those things. Now very big companies and everybody, usually everybody, you get other platforms will be like GitHub, but we just they use GitHub. We're gonna create an account for GitHub, and after you don't create the account, you could carry go your repo or your profile, and then we go enter into our profile for them. So now the Git don't install. Make we try just launch the Git Bash. Make we see whether everything don't set for us. Where. So I will just click that. And of course, by default, Git Bash, it get as they behave, they too pretty, as you see them for here, compared to my Windows terminal, where they much better to work with. Make we just change directory. CD means say to change directory. And directory now the place or the file system where we did. So those of us where they used to working with Windows Explorer, we go this is say this now a Explorer where we sabi, right? So within this Git they help us they do. Well, if you use Git to they navigate even through our system. So like I say I won't go to desktop. I will just CD into the desktop of my machine. And if you know want to type the whole file or the whole name all the time, you see, I just type this. If I just press tab, the terminal or this program, this Git program, go help me quickly just auto complete the remaining words where they try spell. So it is very important or it is very helpful to they use that tab. So if I just say desktop and if I just press enter, it will show me my desktop. So now I did inside my desktop directory. So the desktop directory, it will be this place for here, this desktop directory where I work with. So make I click this one. And here like this, now be all the files within my directory. So I could just minimize them. And if I say make I do ls, because they say all these files, they will show up. All those files where we see just no, they will show up for my directory. You see? So make we say we want just come out from this directory. Make we say we want to go on another directory. First of all, make we say we want to go inside the country, that program where we work before. So I could just say I want to go into country. And if I say I want to enter that country directory, I go press Control L to clear everything for up. So if I say, okay, now make I check for inside this country directory, the files within inside, I could just press LS. Then I list all the systems, all the directory, all the files inside now. Make it list them out for us. So that LS command, they help us, they list them. And then once we see all these files, we go click on the access the files for here, anyhow way we want. So most of the time, you feel even they run VS Code for this directory. So I could just say code, and if I say I want run code, I will can't name the directory I define. So if I define, let's say I want to go the asset directory, I could just say code, and then I could say asset. Once I talk like this and I press enter, VS Code go run with the it go run and it go open only the asset folder. It go ignore this main folder where they work with. So it go ignore this country folder. It go just enter inside the asset folder. But VS Code could work inside only the asset folder. So if I want to make it run inside this folder where I did gang, that time I could just press this. I could just do dots. So that means say I want run VS Code. This dot means say here. At least for terminal, dot means here. So that means say I want run here. Now, what if I want come up for, and if I click on, of course, it will open VS Code for this directory where we get for here. And also, if you use Sublime, if you also run your Sublime text editor from here. I can run Sublime code from here, so I can just say sub L, and this will help me run Sublime text editor. And then if I say I want this directory, I will just say dot, and that will help me fire Sublime from this directory, where I did work with for here. Of course, I did use the free version of Sublime, so we can just close this one. And this is say now we get this directory where they run for us for here, right? So we see the index, we see the country directory. So make we go back into our Git. And for inside this Git, I would like just close, make I close. So make I say we want to command this country directory. How go take job? You could just cd into this directory. You go say you want cd dot dot. Make sure say now two dots. That means say this directory, I want to go again, go back the next directory. If I press enter, you can see say I don't go back the desktop directory. So make we cd back into the country directory. Make we make a new file, or instead, make we make a new directory here. So make I just say I want to make a new directory. How we do that? Well, I could just write mk, sorry, mkdir, and I make directory. And then I will write the file or the directory or folder, sorry, where I want to make. So waiting before that, make I say I want to make test and make I just a dash folder. All right. Now this test folder, they my machine now, they my desktop. If you check out the files there, you're not going to see this test folder. But once I run this command, it will help me create a test folder. So make I click that, and this is say it don't run. Well, you're not going to see any confirmation unless you press the ls. So if I say ls, then to this ls now, if I run them before, you go see say it's not going to show me this test folder. But now if I run ls now, if I press enter, it go run this, it go show me all the files where they inside this test. It go show me this test directory for this my desktop. So if I run out, you will see I'm say we get this test folder for here, right? So make I just clean out. So I say Control L. So make we receive it into the test directory even so where we just make. And make we see our test folder. Make we see how to be. So if I ls inside this test folder, you see say nothing come back. That means say nothing there inside this directory. So how I want to take now add a new file. Well, I could just run the touch. So I will say touch. And if I don't run this touch, I will come need give them a name where I want to give them. So if I just say this dash is like I say dash new dash file, right? So this now new file where I want make like this. So if I click, if I press enter for here, I say click. If I press enter for here, it will help me create a new file where it gets this file name. But this file name could just be any file name. You're not going to know which kind of file type. That means we're going to need to give an extension, right? So if I say, make we give this new file an extension, if you do a txt just means a text file. So I say .txt, and that means it just text file where we try and make, right? So if I do it like this now and I press enter, it will help me create this new file. So make I say I want to go back into the, or make I say I want to list all the files just to check, say it don't help me create this file will be one for you. I will just ls, and now you just say it don't give me this txt.ls file. And of course, if you want to open this txt file, edit and make changes to them, I could do that. I could do like that for here. So I could just come inside my terminal, I could just say subl, and I could just say I want to run for this one. And this is saying I don't open this subl for this folder for me. So what again we want to do? Well, what if we go like just want make it help us make more than one file? So how we go do it? So we could just say, okay, we want to do touch. Remember, I say touch now to make file. So we say touch file -1, and then we go say and after you don't finish, or if you just say file 1, file 2, file 3. If you do like this, like I say dash file 3. So if you do it like this, all right. So if I press save, but remember, say all these files they don't get any names. So make we say .html just for the sake of seeing how we fit down. Then we say CSS, and then make we call this one, of course, we just call this one .js. So for JavaScript, right? So if you press save, it's supposed to help us create HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So make I open this directory, make we see how it will make them in action. So if I come back this directory from here and I open my Git Bash, I can just pull them down. You can see here we don't get any other file besides this demo text file we make for here. And then we press enter, go help us make all the 3 files for there. You see, say now it don't help us make the index.html, it don't help us make the index.html, the file 1.css, file 2.css, file 3.javascript, and file 1.html. You see, they don't make all of them for us. So let's again if you do. What if we want to clean that last file? For example, we want to clean this file for here, this text file. So make we say we want to remove them. So how we go take to them? Well, you could just say rm. Let me say I want to remove. Now, what do you want to remove? Well, I want to remove this file. Then this, so I just type this and press tab, and it got me auto complete that tab. And then once I press enter, go help me delete that file for them. Okay, so then how we can remove files for our VS Code. So what if I want rename another file? So I could just say I want rename, and then I could say that I remove also may remain rename. So I could just say I want rename. Like I say file 1. Yeah, I could say file -1. Like I say 1. And then .html. I want to rename them to index.html. So I can say index.html. Now, if I do it like this, it could rename this file. I hope it could rename this file from file 1.html to index.html. So make we run this code, and you don't remove you don't remove the file, and you don't tell us say there is no such file in our directory. So how we going to get this back? Well, I never rename in a long time. That I don't forget. I think it's mv. Sorry. So make a try with this one. Make I see. So if I say mv, and I think mv now move. But what I want to say, I want this file 2. Make I just try. I'm just being very stubborn this morning. File 2.css, and I want to rename them to styles.css. Okay, make we try this. If I press save, that changes to style. So yes, you just say now mv I supposed to press instead of remove. Sorry, where I supposed to press. So I'm gonna forgive my mistake I make for that. And what we want to say, what if we want to rename that file 3 to, let's say, main.js, and then we want to create another file? That means we want to run 2 operations at the same time. Make we try it down. So the way I will take down again, now say I want to do the touch. And again, if you want to check your code, your old code where you do just press up for your keyboard, it will help you to bring the old code where you don't type before. So all the mistakes where we make, if they do like that. So what I want to say, I want to clean this one, move or rename this file, maybe file 2 or file 3, sorry. Oh, sorry, file 2, file 3.js. I want to rename them to main.js. And then I want to do something else. So I could say and, double ampersand. And I could say and I want touch. So I will say, and then make it touch, meaning say make you create a new file. Which file I want to make? Well, I want to make the index.html, sorry, HTML file. So if I click on like this, it's supposed to help me rename the file and help me create a new file. So if I just click that, it will help me rename that file. If you look here, for inside here, you will see now main.js, and you will see here, it don't help me create this index.html for here. So you see how terminal, they help us, they make our lives better, or to the work with code much easier. So making a day used to this terminal. Now, the thing say this terminal one that you see, so this now the Git terminal. This not be my default terminal. So if I run them now, you go see say this go to show me a different kind of thing. So I want to show now, because I use Windows, I want to show now the terminal where I use. I use Windows terminal. If you know they use Windows terminal, try use Windows terminal. For me, I use Git for here. Thank you, Windows, for changing our terminals to something that makes sense. But because I get Git installed, I feel they run Git or that profile. Remember that settings where we set for the settings for the profile? Now they help me, they run the same Git for inside my terminal. Normally, you're not supposed to get that. It's supposed to run, I think, Windows PowerShell. So if I say I want CD back into this our file, if you just say, okay, for this terminal, make I run CD back into the desktop, and I want to go into the text folder, and I want to run Sublime, but I want to run them for inside this directory. And if I run them, it will help me go from this root directory from here, from this part where they which now my system path, it will help me change directory to the desktop. When I enter the desktop folder, it will enter inside this test folder where we just create, and then it will help me run the Sublime command. Then say it will run Sublime code for me for here. So if I just press enter, it will just fire my Sublime with my code, and everything will work quick for here. You see with the index and all that good stuff for here. Make I close Sublime, and make I say I want remove or I want delete the entire directory. I will take drum. So make I enter back into my terminal for here, and make I expand this a bit. And make we say we want just clean all the files for here. So the first thing we're going to do now to leave the directory, right? Because you know if you inside the file, delete the file. So I suppose first leave that directory. Make I minimize. I'm so going to see what we do. I could just put them here. And now if I come here, I would just like make I go back into that directory. So I can say cd dot and cd into test folder, excuse me. And for inside, no, we want to remove the test folder. So make I just cd out of that test folder. So you see the same thing I do, I just press up, and that will help me go back to the mistake I make. Okay, so for here now, what do we want to remove? See, we want to remove the test folder. Now, if I say I want to remove the test folder, how to take remove? So if I say I want to do that RM now, where we take delete that index file before, so I will just say I want to remove the test folder. So I say test folder. Now, if I do it like this, it no go work. Why? Because I get files inside this directory, inside this test folder. It will give me an error. Now, if we try them like this, it will give us say, make we try, make we see the error, so that I'm not going to use one. So if I press down, it will say cannot remove this test folder is a directory. Cannot remove test folder is a directory. So because na directory, I know if you come out. So how do you come out directory? Maybe say I don't want them, I don't want the index or HTML, I don't want the main.js, I don't want all these files with the and I don't even want the folder again of test directory. I will done. Go do the RM again. So again, I will just press up on my keyboard. But this time I will call run a flag. A flag just means say a specific command. Well, I believe say now force dash rf. When we do like this dash rf, it means we want force the directory. So I could just try them. I hope so I get them. And if I press this, it will help me clean all the files. And you see say now, it don't remove everything, including the folder where I get already before. But for now, that's all we need to learn. I will see you now for the next video. Thank you.